Yep, one of those days. Gravedigger's down, so he's got a broken arm. Poor guy. It was super windy today, and I should not have been flying. Gusts of like 28 miles an hour, but I got all these charged batteries, and I had to run through them. Only got through 3 packs, and not quite a flyaway condition, but it was pretty bad. And I went ahead and fail-safed, and down he went. So I landed in grass. There wasn't anybody around. Don't have to worry about that. I just got a broken arm here. So what we're gonna do is first take the props off, because it's easier to work with it when you don't have these props on the motors. Thankfully, when we built this, we left the motor wires pretty long, didn't trim any off, and just kind of tucked it behind the side of the arm there. So when it did break, it just kind of flopped. So I don't see any damage within that bundle. All 3 wires look like they're still intact. My solder joints are all still secured, so I think we got pretty lucky on this one. So we'll just take... Alright guys, decided to do a voiceover instead of boring you with all the details of what's going on here. So ideally what we're doing is just going to go ahead and remove the arm, which we already done, and we're going to go ahead and resolder the motor wires back to the ESC. Now, taking the motor off the arm, be really careful, because there's a bust of the arm, so carbon fiber splinters were like everywhere. So you want to be really careful not to get any of that in your skin, because it is a pain and it takes forever to get out. But so anyway, here I'm just putting it all back together, and decided to take the top plate off to access the ESC, give me a little better view whenever it came to soldering the motor wires back on, but also look for damage, anything else that could have been damaged during the crash. So just kind of look at the stack. So I just basically just kind of took all the parts off and had it looked at. So I'm back, and here is the kit I was telling you guys about. That will, that's what happens when you got all these projects going on. Stuff everywhere. Jumping into another voiceover in this last segment, so I don't bore you guys with my ramblings. Anyhow, here we're taking the screws up kind of loose for the stack to kind of shimmy the flight controller up a little bit so I can get underneath there and clean up those solder pads of that conformal coating that actually some shot into my eye, which sucked, but I went ahead and cleaned my eye out. So here I am taking the solder sucker 5000 and taking the old solder, cleaning it up best I can, and realizing that when I was using it, I end up getting a little bit of solder onto the components. Thankfully, I had conformal coating kind of protecting that, so that's actually another good idea to have conformal coating on your electronics, because you can not only protect it from the rain, and not really rain, but dew if you're flying in the morning or late evening, and you can also protect it from solder splashes. But speaking of splashing, here we went ahead and put up a FOD barrier of electrical tape to keep me from making any more of a mess, and kind of just soldering this up, trying to find the right angle to get this stupid wires to cooperate. I used 3 different sets of needle nose and to try to get those things to line up right. But anyway, end up getting it correct. And during this soldering fiasco, I used some no clean flux to help me with the process here to get these things soldered up. And eventually we did. And after getting them all soldered up, and realizing that, of course, this is a 30x30 stack, and I probably should have went with a 20x20, because the TBS Source 1 version 5 frame is pretty narrow in the center, and so 20x20 would be more ideal. But anyhow, here I'm just kind of cleaning it up, looking it over, and make sure the integrity is right, and going to go ahead and screw down the screws. And once we have it all cleaned up and the screws are all tight from the bottom, I reapplied the conformal coating all over the place to make sure this thing is bulletproof when it comes to any kind of water damage or whatnot. I don't plan on flying it into a lake, but you never know. Things happen. Then the last part is to kind of clean up the wires. I put the wires on the opposite side of the way the props spin to prevent from the prop flexing and maybe cutting the wires. And I also kept them kind of long so that way if I ever run into this issue again, I have enough wire to kind of, you know, trim off the slack. So in conclusion, guys, I just want to thank you all for watching my video, and it's much appreciated. It really helps the channel continue to grow. So stay tuned for more content coming up. Thanks, guys.